Hey everyone, today we are here with Melinda Hastings. She is such an amazing person and soul, and I can't wait for you to meet her. And we've been following each other for a while in Badass Body Workers, and I've always loved her little golden nuggets of information and just all the value that she's added. And we learn by asking questions and looking up to people. And Melinda, you've just been such a inspiration. Since we like became Facebook friends and come across each other's paths, and you're just you have such great integrity, which is one reason why I was so drawn to you, because I'm really, really picky with who I want to work with. And I just I think you're awesome. And we both believe in you know, like just we want to see these amazing body workers like thrive and not just survive and get past the overwhelm of just that inner dialogue of, can I even do this? Am I worth it? Is it all worth it? And it totally is, but sometimes we just need a little bit of structure. So, and some marketing advice and all the goodies. So, yeah, I'll let you introduce yourself, because you're like a little fairy godmother, and I could just talk forever about you. So, I'll let you do the
Well,
intro.
I am Melinda Hastings. I have been a massage therapist for 27 years now. Long time. I'm an old girl. I have practiced in lots of different states, all across the country. My husband is active duty military, so we move quite often, which means I have to continually start brand new practices from scratch. So I I really focus on helping massage therapists and other beauty professionals leverage the hidden value that's in their practice. We never know what the true value of our services are. We usually just guess around at it, which means we're guessing around at our prices. So I like to dig really, really deep into therapist practices and find that hidden value so that then they can leverage that into premium prices, so that we can stop struggling and start really thriving in our businesses, because that's what we're here for, right? We're here to thrive, not just financially, but here to thrive in our authority and thrive in our expertise and thrive in our relationships with our clients and the relationships that we build in our communities. And I'm here for all of that.
Right. And and for us not to be burned the fuck out.
Yes,
Man,
yes.
it sounds like Groundhog Day, like the amount of times that you had to restart, but tweaking it each time. Like I assume it's the same sort of like structure, being in the military environment, but you have to restart the clientele. Like, good Lord, that sounds exhausting. I bet you
Um,
from
in the
that.
beginning, it was exhausting for sure. In the beginning, I didn't know what I was doing. I came from the very first years of my practice. I charged $10 an hour for massage.
No,
Yes,
no.
if there was a mistake in building a business and growing a business, I made it. And I think that uniquely positions me, with all of those years of experience and moving around so much, um, to help so many therapists from all walks, right? But it wasn't in the beginning. It wasn't easy. It was hard, but then I learned how to not be shit when it comes to building your business, and just rock it from the get-go. Because I hear all the time, other educators and coaches and just people out in the universe saying that it takes 3 to 5 years, whatever, to build a business. I don't have time for that, because by year 3 or 4, we're already moving to the next place. So I have to get my practices filled super fast, in order to maximize that profit potential in each place. It wasn't easy, but now it's very easy because I do use the same system over and over now.
I think that's what massage therapists lack a lot, is structure, you know, and systems, or at least me, I'm that person, and I know I'm not the only one out there. And it can be overwhelming to not know where to start or to have so many damn irons in the fire. And I think sometimes just simplifying it and getting like back to the core is all you really need to do. And I haven't started over as many times as you, Melinda, but I've started over 3 times. And this time around, I'm in Austin. And it's it's definitely a lot easier the second or third time around because you already learned those lessons. But fuck, it's such an incredibly different environment, and there's a lot of saturation, you know, and but there's no shortage of people looking for wellness, so you really do have to stand out and market yourself. And that's actually what we're talking about today is 6 ways to get seen and heard and paid, and 3 ways to power up your marketing to avoid the most common mistakes. And yes, I did have to read that off of my notes because I could not have memorized that. I'm too ADHD, which is why sometimes my marketing is sporadic as fuck. So that's why we're going to be talking about this today, is because, like, like you said, Melinda, ain't nobody got time. You know, we have to make the time, and you know, we have to optimize the time that we have. Otherwise, we're just going to be spinning on a hamster wheel. So,
Yeah.
yeah, tell us your
Yeah.
secrets.
So I just finished a really awesome jam-packed challenge about 2 weeks ago now on this very thing, getting seen, getting heard, and getting paid. Because I think these are areas that are really lacking for a lot of therapists. Um, you said that a lot of therapists don't know where to start. They don't have the systems. They don't have the structure, right? And I think that's absolutely true. But I think on the flip side, some therapists are so drilled into and stuck in their structure and their systems that there's no flexibility. So they're not flexing with their ever changing market, they're not flexing with their ever changing skills. And so those therapists are getting stuck too, just stuck in a different way, right? Um, One thing that I want everybody to really understand is no client out there is searching for an average therapist. And when you don't stand out, you are invisible. You have to give people the information that they need, that they want, that they're looking for in order to say, that is the person I need to solve my pain problem or my stress problem, whatever it is you solve for your people, right? So getting seen, you can't get paid if people don't see you, right?
Well, how much information is too much information? Because our attention spans are, oh my God, they're just so quick. And obviously TikTok has, I can't even say it right because I don't use it. TikTok has proven that reels, you know, we're just scrolling because our attention span is just squirrel. So how much information is too much information?
Um, so I think that you need to have a mix of different types of content, meaning static posts, posts with photos, posts with GIFs, posts with videos. You need to have reels and stories and carousels and, lots of different diversity.
Not just
Um, Go ahead, sorry.
not just quotes of the
Not
day.
just quotes. No, you have to have a variety of methods that you're using, right, to attract different people because some people are looking for those videos. Some people are looking for, a really great photo is what stops them, right, and gets them interested in what you're saying. I think you need to have different lengths of posts. Your content can be 2 sentences and be super powerful. Some things need to be 2 paragraphs, right? But I think, when you're getting more into blog length or essay length, 500 words and up, cut it. See where you can break that down, because nobody is on social media, any platform of social media, to read a book. Um, so keeping it a little bit on the shorter side is always going to be better than too long. Yeah.
And guess what, guys? The more you post, then 2, 3 months down the road, you can look at your metrics and it'll tell you what is performing. Like social media is smart. Like all these algorithms, they're smart. They give you all these breakdown in numbers. Like I was telling a friend the other day, I'm like, just do Google ads, man. Like Google is smart. They want to make money. They're going to make sure that you make money. I've seen it again and again and again how effective Google ads are. If you're gonna, please God, do not invest in Yelp. Just do Google. And he's like, "Oh, that is right. Google is a very smart machine." I said, "Yeah, they are." So give it a go. So we'll see how that goes. But like these algorithms, they're smart. They know how to keep people engaged.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of content out there. So like, woo.
I think when we get stuck in trying to puke out so much information in one post, it's really shooting ourselves in the foot, because here we have this difficulty in thinking about, what should I post, right? What should I write? And if we're writing everything that we can think of all in one post, what's left for the next day and the day after that and the day after that? So when we break it down into more of like a series of posts, that's going to expand how how much you're able to get across to your people and have them comprehend it, right? Because not only do you need to get seen, you need to get remembered. People need to remember your name. They need to remember what you're all about. They need to remember what you have said to them in your content. So breaking it down, and that's gonna help with that overwhelm and that burnout too. Creating those long posts every day, that's not the way to win.
Oh yes, I know. And then we can totally get into like, oh my God, well, like what times a day? It's just there's a lot to tackle. But what you were saying earlier too about like structure, the first thing that came to mind to me was like, structure with fluidity, not rigidity. It's like some people are just so rigid, like they never want to change or try something new because they're scared. Because peel back the onion layers and nothing, they're feeling rejected because they don't want people to say no, or they're too trepidatious about like going out of their comfort zone. And I do think it's very important to have that flexibility, and to not let things completely unravel you. Which
Yes.
happens to me quite often. So I'm working on it.
I think that's, human, right?
Right.
None of us want the no answer, right? So, how can we mitigate the no's and, maximize the yeses? That's what content's all about, right?
Yeah. So tell us how to get some more yeses. Let's see some quick wins. We want to see people uh hit the first domino and get things rolling, because we can just sit here and stew about it in our brain all day. But if we spend 20 minutes taking out the trash, or thinking about taking out the trash whenever we could have done it in 20 seconds, let's use our time wisely. Like, how can how can we get started to get seen and heard in the way that we want to be, besides writing a 3 mile long um content with a bunch of emojis on Facebook?
Right. Okay, I overuse emojis.
I do too. It's me. I'm her.
Yes, all my lists have emojis. I love
And
emojis,
that's in
but
private
there's a
group,
limit.
not to clients, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, so the first thing about getting seen is and getting remembered is your branding. And this can be as simple as your brand colors and your logo and what fonts you use. It can be that simple. You can go far, far deeper in that, but just starting there is really good. Using the same colors consistently throughout all of your marketing, your clothing. I use a piece of art here. I have a mug in my brand colors. All of my social media stuff, well, most of it has my brand colors. Usually, when I'm on video teaching, I am wearing my brand colors. It's that simple. Using those colors consistently outside of your treatment room and inside your treatment room as well creates this cohesive image, right? When you're using that over and over and over again, people start to recognize that. Everybody recognizes the Target bullseye or the Amazon logo or the Nike swoosh, right? That's what we need for our businesses. We need clients to be scrolling through social media and see our brand colors and say, oh, that's Rebecca, or oh, that's Melinda, right? That's what gets people to stop and remember you. So, brand colors and getting seen outside of just your website, your booking site, and your business Facebook page, right? Where can you expand? If you're only on Facebook, maybe expanding into Instagram or expanding into TikTok if that's your thing. Whatever works for your business, it has to work for you, and it has to be the place where your perfect fit clients are hanging out. If none of your perfect fit clients are hanging out on TikTok, don't waste your time on TikTok. Um,
I go to
put
the craft beer
energy.
bars. That's where my clientele hangs out. They drink craft beer and they play pickleball and they go to like wellness events. So that's where I hang out,
Yeah,
like, as far as in-person stuff too. And
yeah.
it like
And it is important to have that in-person stuff, right? Because people need to see you and hear you in person, and having those natural interactions. um, Not everything is a formal networking event, but everything is networking, if that
Mhm.
makes sense. So getting seen, just getting seen outside of your Facebook page is so important. Get active in your community groups, whether that's in person or in the digital space, right? Ultimately, be where your perfect fit clients are hanging out, right? If you are specializing in massage for athletes, don't be hanging around in mom and me groups, because that's not where your ideal clients are hanging out, right? I mean, some could be in there, but you need to be looking for those athlete based groups. You need to be looking at those athletic events and things like that. So getting seen in the places where your perfect fit clients are. um,
I used to oh god. I used to try to hang out at the fanciest like bars and hotels and I wouldn't even like try and dress up. I would just be in my jeans or some like something hippie or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get all these rich clients and stuff. And it's like, no, like that wasn't my target clientele. That wasn't even my level. Because I was just getting started like 1 year in and I was still working out of my house. So it's like that wasn't even the right like broadcasting station. We were on two completely different wavelengths and I hadn't quite even grown into that, but like I was just trying to jump to step 20 before step 1.
right.
And that wasn't even my target market. I built my business because I'm fluent in Spanish and I started working on a lot of the Spanish speaking people in my city and then I just kept getting referrals and more referrals and then like worked my way up to an office and then Phelps won the Olympics and I was the only person in town that did cupping at the time and it's like whoa, like this unfolded completely different than I had imagined in my mind. So like you have to be open to I really don't want to say the reality of your situation too, but like you can do step 20 before step 1. It's really hard.
Yeah.
like overshoot
It
and then you get disappointed, then burn out, and we continue that fucking cycle.
Right. It doesn't meet the goals that you have set. So it ends up being a waste of your time. It leads to frustration. Then you're just, a lot of people are like, forget it. Nothing is working, I'm done. And they're not feeling the flex, right? Being adaptable to what you're doing, right? If you notice that you're not getting any results with that high end bar clientele, right? What do you need to do to change? Do you realize that that's not where your people are hanging out?
Labeling.
Yes. Yes. Yes, yes. So being consistent in what you're saying, how you're saying it, being consistent in doing the thing, right? If it's posting on Facebook or making TikToks or, going to events, um, consistently do those things, because the more you are seen in those same spaces, the more people are going to remember you. The more people are going to know what you do. They're going to know who you are. They're going to know who you work with, and they're going to remember you. That's the thing. You have to be seen and you have to be remembered.
I love that quote. You need to get seen, but you need to be remembered.
Yeah, yeah.
Because we
We
have
see things all the time, but how much do we remember? Right?
me not a lot. I'm like Dory with Finding Nemo.
Right? How many times do we need to see something to remember it, or to, really get that spark of, let me find out more about this, right? And then we go seeking that information. And what do you have for people to find, right? So you need to be heard. You need to be seen, but you also need to be heard. And heard is the word, right? The words that you're using. Um, how are you showing up as the authority on massage? But not just massage. You have to go much deeper than that. Because, yes, we all, as massage therapists, do massage, right? But what is our area of expertise? What is the niche of our authority, right? I work with active duty military. So my authority is in massage specifically for those bodies. The problems that active duty service members have with their bodies that affect not just their bodies, but their careers, right? Um, and knowing anything and everything about who your perfect fit client is, targeting all of your content toward that person and showing that person why you are the authority in solving their problems, how you have the expertise and the experience in producing X, Y, and Z results that they're looking for, right?
I
Nobody gives a single poop about the basic benefits of massage.
I
Stop posting those things. Everybody knows that massage, or people assume, right? This is where we have to think outside of our expertise as a therapist, and we have to be normal everyday people. When we hear the word massage, most people are going to assume relaxing and lowering blood pressure, and okay, if I get a massage I can move better, I can feel better. We don't need to continually tell them that. We need to get way more specific according to our perfect fit clients and how we solve their problems based on our experience, our knowledge, our expertise, right?
and speaking of specifics, like I just came up with a really good hashtag for you. Massage and camouflage. But for real, like having a hashtag, I just use badass body workers because nobody, like, that's my brand. But like a little catchphrase or having a hashtag that's super consistent is awesome too, because obviously it's searchable, but it create this like part of that branding. Like there's hashtags from my old city that I still remember from posts and from certain companies and events like that are reoccurring because they post all the time. But I
They're
love
seen and they're remembered.
like hashtag.
Yes, yes. So getting heard loud and clear by your perfect fit clients. Be where they are. Talk to them about your authority and expertise. Get them to read your content and say, that is the person that I need to solve my problems. And then guess what they're going to do? They're going to happily pay you. They're going to pay you whatever it is that you want to be paid, because now we're not talking about the money. We're talking about the results that they're going to be getting. Because let me tell you another secret. Nobody is actually paying for massage. They're buying massage, but they're not paying for massage. They think they're paying for massage, but they're not. They're paying for their problem to be solved. They're paying for how they're going to be feeling and moving after the massage.
I would have paid like so much money yesterday to have a massage for my sore neck from my food poisoning. Like, oh my God, I was miserable, and then the next day I woke up and I'm like, oh, my body is worse than the day before. Like I was fine physically, but my body had clenched up so much. And I was thinking to myself, I would pay $1,000 for a massage right now. Like I'm in so much pain. But it's
You
true.
realized the need. You felt that need in your body, whether you're a massage therapist or not, right? People know what their pain is, and people know what they would do to get rid of their pain, right? Be
I
the
think
solution for them.
I think a lot of the problem too is that massage therapists tend to project their own insecurity or scarcity mindset or lack of, financial abundance onto the client. So they just project and assume. So they're not in like that receiving mode. They're not on the same wavelength. And, things get really frustrating when that happens too. Like one of my big secrets I always tell people is your client is not an electricity bill laying on your table, nor are they a phone bill or your car note or whatever. Like they're a person, an actual person with actual issues and actual problems, and they have actual concerns. Like listen to them, listen to their bodies. Like don't just treat them like a means to an end, because that's important too. Like that the energetics behind all of it too, because people could do all the marketing they want to, but if they're not like truly believing in themselves, clients can sense that, and they don't like to like why would we want to return to a really awkward experience that we had with somebody because they didn't believe in themselves or they weren't like receiving, and it's like, okay, this transaction was just really weird. Like I think that's a missing key in a lot of like marketing stuff too, if that makes sense. Like I could keep peeling
Absolutely.
back the onion layers, but
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, let's face it, desperation stinks, and clients can smell it from a mile away, right?
we've all been there.
We've listen, I charged $10 an hour for massage. I was pretty desperate in those first,
Listen, Melinda. Okay.
like, uh, you know, and everything was about the money because I wasn't making any money. Who's attracted to a $10 massage, right? I mean, granted, this was almost 30 years ago, but still, right? People were
I would have
paying
expected $1 a minute,
people were
back.
paying $50 back then. That was the standard, right? Um, and yeah, so when we focus on the money all the time, it doesn't work. we have to stop focusing on the money and start focusing on what it is that we're really selling. We're selling the results. Whatever the results are that you provide for your clients, that's what you're selling. That's what you have to talk about in your content. You can't talk about the basic stuff. You have to talk about what you do for your people and why you are the best choice for them.
Without trying to convince or justify, and having the confidence to do so,
Yes.
because yeah, desperation does suck.
Yes. Compel versus convince.
Ooh, I love that. Yes. Just writing that down in my journal. Taking all notes to myself. So I definitely haven't been keeping track of all six and all three. I know I introduced the title, so I just wanted to remind the listeners that I have ADHD.
That's
And
okay. I go a little extra most of the time.
I love that. I mean, that's what we have to do for our clients to keep them coming back too, it's like, just add that little extra touch.
Sure. So let's talk about getting paid, right? You've now hopefully been seen and you're being remembered and you're talking to your perfect fit clients about your authority and your expertise and why you are the choice for them, right? You're the perfect therapist for them. Um, Making it easy to get paid is super important, right? Don't make people go through a bunch of hoops to contact you. I do tons and tons of freebies in my coaching business. I always have seasonal freebies, and just lots of freebies, content freebies, blah blah blah. The amount of people that request those freebies that I cannot send them the information because their profile is all locked down, or if they're requesting through their business page, their page is locked down, right? They're not seeing messages. How much money are you leaving on the table by not being accessible to the people that want to contact you, right? When your clients or a potential client is trying to message you, you need to be able to see that. But when they're trying to make an appointment with you, they need to have the link to your booking site or the link to your website or a phone number. However you want them to contact you, you need to have that front and center. You need to have it in your bio. You need to have it in your about section. You need to have it, front and center. You need to have clear call to actions with links, right? Make it easy for them to pay you. Don't make it hard.
God, yeah, I hate chasing people down just to have to book an appointment or something. And, even if you just want to be contacted via text, like just have that shit plastered all over. Like,
Like,
just, oh my gosh.
people need specific instructions, right?
And simple instructions. Like I do the same thing with when I'm telling people to write Google reviews or whatever. Like I don't just ask my clients, "Hey, can you write me a Google review?" I'm like, "Here's the link and these are the parameters to kind of help you write in case you have a brain block. Like if it's pain relief that you came to me for, what was your pain scale before and after? Um, like how I usually encourage those people to write it a couple days after. I'm like, how did you feel the day after? Just ask specific questions. Relaxation, I might ask, oh, what's your stress level? How was the ambience? What was your favorite part about the service? Because usually people will write Rebecca's great exclamation mark. And I'm like, damn it.
And
Thank
what is
you.
that
But
doing? It's doing nothing. It's keeping you invisible because let's face it, when you are looking for a new restaurant in your community or if you're vacationing, whatever, you look on Yelp, or you Google whatever. You're looking at those reviews and all of those basic reviews. Oh, Rebecca's nice. Rebecca's room smelled good. Okay, and like, where's the substance? You have to give them the substance. We have to make it easy for our clients to do that. And then we're getting the substance, the things that we need for social proof. Those reviews are called social proof if you don't know that already. That's what people need to make a determination if you're as good as you say you are. What are other people saying about you, right?
right? And you could just ask them like, what do you come here for? You know, like right. Like we're so inundated with information and overwhelmed. Like s- sometimes you do have to spoon feed people, but like you can pick and choose, obviously. And we don't have to make it difficult. We can help people help us, you know, having to jump through hoops to book an appointment or to pay somebody, or, you know, if you have Venmo and your apps aren't working or whatever, like they all have QR codes, print that shit out. You know, like have backups. Like I accept every form of payment, man. I'll accept crypto. Not really, I don't do crypto, but I'll accept anything. And it's like I want the money. I have a preferred method. Obviously, like I prefer cash or like online processing. I'll choose Venmo, but like I literally have a preferred method that I'll suggest first. And if they don't have it, I'm like, no biggie. I literally have everything else. You know,
Exactly. You're
'cause I'm
making
not
it
gonna let
easy.
them walk away.
Yes, you're making it easy. Don't make it difficult for people. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just make things difficult for myself personally. But
Mm.
not for other people. Not for my clients.
Oh, goodness. Okay, so let's talk about 3 mistakes that I see all the time when it comes to content. And we've already talked about several of the things, but um, I call these trash posts. I have a whole course that is really talking about trash posts and how to go beyond trash posts so that you can turn your trash into cash. Um, because that's what we want, right? We want cash into our practices. Okay, so availability posts. I see it all the time. Everybody's listing all of their appointments for the day, or usually like the week, maybe the whole month. And there's tons and tons and tons of appointments shown. Stop doing that, because let's talk about intention versus what's really happening. Okay. The intention behind that is really great. You want to get your schedule filled. You want to give clients lots of options so that there's something that will fit for them, right? You're trying to make it easy. But what's really happening in the real world, and we have to recognize this, whether we like it or not, whether we agree with it or not, we have to recognize that the average person, when they see so many openings, are going to think, huh, that person must not be very good if they have all these openings, right? That might be true. It could be the furthest thing from the truth. You could be phenomenal. Maybe you just don't understand marketing.
Or
Or
over in a
maybe,
new place. And
eh,
it's like,
right. It,
hey, I'm here. Come try me out.
there could be other factors at play, right? But the average person is going to look at that and think, oh, that person must not be very good, or they'd be booked up, right? um, so stop posting all of that availability, and instead pick 1 or 2, maybe 3 times for like an entire week, and post that. Make your schedule, have your schedule leverage FOMO and urgency, fear of missing out. And I have to act now so I don't miss out, right? There's nothing saying that those are the only 3 appointments that you have for the week. There could be more, right? But maybe these are the top 3 that you want to get filled. That's going to look and feel so much more powerful. It's going to give you much better results, the results that you want, right? And it's going to give your clients that urgency factor. They're not going to sit around and think about it for a week or, 2 weeks. And
I always say, like, if you need to fill your schedule quickly, just post that you're going on vacation, and these are, like, literally your only, like, 2 openings. And it
right,
works like a charm because people are like, "Oh, shit, she about to go relax, like, I better make her work for it," you know?
right,
Let me get on
yes,
my table.
yes. And using the whole book now, book now, book now. Um, Sometimes book now is appropriate, but it's so overused. When we start
Guilty.
talking about what we're solving for people, why we're the expert, why we are the authority, then maybe a learn more is more appropriate. Maybe it's have your link right above the link. It says, click here for your appointment. And maybe you have the little emojis pointing down. um, your call to action needs to be much more powerful than book now. You need to have different calls to action depending on what your intention is for that content, right? What fits that content and gets people to do the thing you want them to do, which is book an appointment, right?
Some
Um,
um, I do like emojis. Sometimes I'll just put self-care is not selfish with the downward arrow emoji, and that, is gets quite a bit of responses, but whenever I do book now, like, book your body work now, it's like, womp womp.
but most of the time, the whole book now comes with, I have an opening, book now. Why should I book now? You've given me no information.
Book now for later.
Right? You give me no information on why I should book with you and why I should do it right now. Going back to that content, right? The basic benefits. We already talked about that. Stop being basic and start putting out your unique selling point. What makes you the choice, right? Be
Don't
specific.
be basic, be a badass.
That's right. That is right. And the last thing that I have on my little cheat sheet over here are irrelevant posts. If you are a massage therapist and I don't know, you're focusing on headaches and migraines, okay? Why are you, I'm scratching my head at this, right? Why are you posting recipes? Why are you posting about cats? What relevance do those have to your business?
Unless it's a cat massaging another cat, and then you can, like, turn that into a social media post.
Sure, you have to have the content behind it, right? But you can't really put content behind a recipe and say how that is going to help solve or support your work in solving headaches and migraines, right? Your stuff has to be relevant to why people are coming to your page, why people are going to be coming to your business. Don't flood your page with that fluff stuff that doesn't matter. Keep it focused on your perfect fit client and what they need and how you solve it. When you
I do.
stop doing those things, right? Those trash things, your content, your content will be powered up automatically without even doing the actual power steps, right? So starting by stopping is the first step in that.
And that's why we all have personal pages, so we can post those recipes and
That's
post those
right.
cat memes
That is right.
and then, yeah, I see that a lot too, like, on social media. I mean, even on personal pages, like, things are still public. Like, I contrary to popular thing, I do add some of my clients on socials, and I put them in a filtered list.
Mhm.
I have my privacy settings. I know what I want, my family to see and not see. Like, please keep that in mind whenever you're posting stuff on social media because If you're going to be raging about politics all day, like that stuff needs to be kept hidden from the general public,
Right.
and you have to think to yourself, like, if you're in business for yourself, like, everything you do is reflection on you. Like, why the fuck do you think people are so addicted to celebrity cultures? Because they come with so much drama. Like,
Right.
we like to watch them, we like to see what kind of stuff they're getting into and like what's the latest scoop. Like, don't give your clients any reason to like keep up with you like that. You want to like nurture that relationship, not just like scare them off. So, and seeing as an employer too, like I can see people's like personal brands, like in their brand personality, and I'm like my heart knows that this person is not like what they're doing outside of work is not a reflection of how, I would want therapists to conduct themselves inside the workplace, so like personal branding is also a thing as well. Like, I mean, me and my, tattoos and my crazy hair and like my ADHD, like that's who I am as a person, and that's how people know me through Badass Body Workers. But like my business, I am you like have to portray certain things, and it's not about like being fake or inauthentic. It's about separating. You have to compartmentalize
Yes.
because otherwise you're gonna like, yeah, it's gonna turn into a fucking tornado in your head, and then you're gonna have to like put out fires all the time. So, learn to
Clients,
compartmentalize those things for sure.
I think you need to treat the content that you share as if it were your address, your personal address. If you wouldn't share your personal address, don't share that,
Oh, that's a good rule.
because we do need to have that separation of personal life and professional life, right? We need to do that when we're having basic conversation with clients. Clients don't need to know if we have kids or if we're married or our sexual preference or political preference. They don't need to know any of that. They don't need to know what schools our kids go to, or they don't need to know that kind of stuff, because basic safety, right? Don't give people reasons to stalk you or to hate you or, whatever, right? Um, keep your stuff separate for sure.
Yeah, this is like, especially with cancel culture, like having had hit it all-time high the past couple of years. Yeah, you definitely want to err on the side of staying fucking relevant to what you're doing. Like, please, God. Speaking of relevant too, like, uh, it's November 1st and yesterday was Halloween. And a couple of years ago, I did, I posted something. I posted my outfit and it was actually a little muscle suit. I've seen a lot of people in them. And I'm like, everyone post their Halloween photos. I'm gonna choose my favorite costume so somebody can win like a gift card. And I got so much engagement on that. Had nothing to do with massage, but it was on a national holiday. Everyone has photos, and I had them like hashtag it. So it turned into a little contest. So like it's okay to have fun too. Like you don't have to be so rigid, like have a little fluidity and a little spunk behind it too. Like nobody wants to book with a piece of cardboard. Like
Exactly.
have a
They're
person.
hiring you for your expertise, right? But they're also hiring you for your personality. Um, you have to mesh with the person that's on your table, and the person that's on your table has to mesh with you, right? um, we don't want those clients that we see their name on our schedule and we're like, ugh.
Yeah.
We don't want that. We want to have a full schedule of people that we're like, hell yeah, I get to work on Joe today, or Mary today, and be really excited about that, right? That's what makes going to work fun. That's what makes our careers worth it, right?
No energy vampire clients, please. And So speaking of like new clients, you have some awesome stuff coming up. And even like I know that we both have a passion for helping we're kind of like the underdogs, we like helping these new therapists who have so much potential. Um and there's just like it's just so hard to get started sometimes, even if you've been doing it for 14 years and you're starting over in a new city and need a little support because it is ground zero again. So like you have some juicy stuff coming up and I want to tell people about I want you to tell people about it because I would butcher it.
I do. I'm super excited. It's been an entire year since I've been able to offer my signature program, which is the Business Masters course, because of moving from Germany and supporting my daughter as she, was giving birth and, the whole recovery time, the whole 9 yards, right? So it's been a whole year since I've been able to run this program. I normally run it 2 times a year. And now is the time. It's back. And I've revamped a lot of the program. It's a 10-week program where we dive super, super deep into your practice and we pull out everything. We look at all the nitty gritty bits of your business and we evaluate those. We analyze them, we tweak them, we completely overhaul them. And the goal is to build a solid foundation because even if you've been a therapist for 14 years or 20 years or whatever years, right? We need to have that solid foundation. A lot of our foundations are crumbling, right? Because we've just been doing the same things over and over and over, or we've been struggling for years and years. Our foundations aren't strong. So building that strong foundation and getting people to understand the true value of their services, right? I know that there's a whole lot of charge what you're worth and know what you're worth. And I have a very different take on that because you can be a fabulous person and have a ton of personal worth, right? But you can be a really crappy therapist. How does that jive in your price? And the same, the opposite can be true. You can be a really crappy person in your personal life, but you can be a fab therapist. How does that jive with your price? We need to separate ourselves from that and we need to focus on the worth of our service, the worth of our results. And when we do that, again, we stop talking about the money in a way and we talk about the money in a different way that's results based. So we're finding all of that value. We're looking at how are we picking our prices. And now we're strategically figuring out what our perfect price needs to be. We're talking about everything from marketing and how to do it, what to say, when to say it, where to share it, how to craft those content pieces that you can use anywhere and everywhere, right? Figuring out what it is that you actually do. Because if I ask most therapists, what do you do? They're going to say, "Oh, I do massage." Or I do relaxation massage or whatever, right? They're going to pick a modality that they do. But that's not really what you do. What are you solving for your people, right? I'm helping active duty soldiers prevent a med board so they can keep their careers. I'm helping them keep their career for the long term, right? I'm solving their problems in order for them to do that, right? Um, so figuring out what it is you actually do. We talk about strategy in pricing and strategy in content and strategy in promotions because I don't believe in doing discounts. I believe you need to charge your money, and that's that. Full price all day, every day. So we talk about so much. We talk about how to stop rebooking client after client after client and start treatment planning instead. That's helping to mitigate those no's, right? That's helping to stop talking about the money because we're not collecting money every single time they come in. We collect once and we see them for an entire month. But we're not selling prepaid packages. We're doing it in a completely different way that's more authority based instead of client gets to make the decision based, which then impacts the results that they get. Um, Anything and everything outside of hiring employees is covered in this course. That's why I love it so much because it's a complete course. Whether you're just starting out fresh out of school or you've been in business for a long time and you move locations, or you just like, I'm tired of doing it this way and not getting what I want. I'm ready to do something different. I have a lot of therapists in the course right now. The course doesn't start until the middle of November, but we're already a little over half full right now. I have a lot of therapists that are already they're employees now and they're transitioning into their own practices. So it's a nice mix, a really nice mix. So I like being able to give the bespoke advice. One amazing thing about the Business Masters course, the way I teach it, is everything is live. We have Zoom calls every week. You learn the lesson of the week. Because it's an NCBT and B approved course, there has to be a curriculum, right? We can't just wing everything and give credit. So there's a curriculum.
Credit. So, how many credits is your class
22,
program?
22 C's.
That's awesome.
So we meet live every week. We learn the lesson of the week, but that's not where it ends. I take every single person in the course and I say, okay, Rebecca, this is what I know about your business based on all of my research that I've done and the conversations that we have had and the goals that you have for your practice, your expertise, your skills, blah, 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 right? This is how you need to implement this lesson or this strategy. And then I would say, Jack, this is how you need to implement this. And then, I go down the line. So everybody is getting bespoke coaching every single class.
Yeah, I would need some modifications because I'm over here like went from business owner to solo, moved locations. Oh, sorry. We're on camera right now, so I'm like counting on my fingers, and anyways, the wrong one went up. Um, and then also I'm like transitioning the style of work that I do, so it's like all three in one at the same time. So, having that much going on is also like a lot of pressure, which has been keeping me in fight or flight. So I'm like, I know what to do, but like now I just need a little bit of modification on this weird, unique situation that I put myself in.
Right, right. Pulling out the things that are the most significant and playing on your strengths and strengthening your weaknesses and putting all of that into a bespoke strategy that's just for you. Because there's very, very little advice in our world that is blanket, that's going to fit everybody. And that's why I take the very customized approach. I really don't like that word because it's so overused, but that whole bespoke approach, right? Everybody is getting exactly what they need and not just, here you go, here's the lesson. I'm just going to talk to you about this lesson and then you go figure it out. Like all the DIY courses out there, right?
What
When
she's saying, you guys, is it ain't no cookie cutter bullshit.
Right, right. When you are investing in a program to make this level of transformation in your business, you cannot do it DIY. You need to have the advice from a coach that's willing to dig down deep and get to know your specific business, right? How can a coach, an educator, give you the most appropriate advice if they don't know your business? It's the same thing as, treating a client. How are you going to solve their migraines if you don't ask them a bunch of questions, right? You have to do that intake. You're not just going to have someone come into your treatment room and say, okay, lay down. And no, you have to have all the information from them, right? You have to be a partner with them, and then and only then will you get the results that you're looking for. And that's what really sets the business masters course apart, is it's 100% live. And
And
then you also get, in addition to the courses or the classes every week, you get 2 private one-on-one sessions with me to go over all the stuff. So anyway, I'm super super excited about this program because this is the one I get to dig in deep the most and make the biggest transformations. So I'm super excited about this one.
I feel like that's such a manageable time too, 10 weeks, because everyone wants to do like a 2 week or a 30-day transformation. And it's like, realistically, like, we have fucking life going on, man. Like, sometimes we're not going to be able to make like 5 calls a week. I know that you said y'all, the frequency in which y'all meet up, but like, is there specific days for people who might be curious about looking at their own schedule to see if it'll.
We do. We start on Wednesday, November 15th, and we meet at from 4 to 6 Central Time. So I try to make it super easy. Each class is 2 hours long. We meet once a week, so on Wednesdays, and we go for 10 weeks. I purposely chose 10 weeks because that gives plenty of time for people to work, right? I want you working. You want to work. You need to make money. So you need to be able to work. You need to be able to have a personal life. There's homework to do in the course. I give you things to work on between class every single week. Then we go through those things. Every piece of homework that I give, I personally evaluate and I personally give feedback on it. I invest a lot of time in each of my students in this program. It goes far beyond the 20 hours of class and the 2 hours of one-on-ones.
You're
Um,
a true educator as well, not just like somebody who's trying to, fill some, large program with as many people as possible to make as much as possible. Like, you love seeing therapists thrive, and that's why I've loved all of our conversations like off camera too, because, there's, there isn't a lot of integrity in the coaching and mentoring, area online. And, I just see that it's so like saturated as well. And people are often so desperate that they don't know who to choose or how to discern who might be right for them. And they're just falling for any sort of sales psychology that they, you know, whatever verbiage is spit out from chat gpt, and they're like, oh yeah, this is going to fix my problems. And it's like, those quick fixes, like, they don't work. Like, you can have quick wins, but quick fixes, no, they don't work. It's always going to come apart. And I've seen, I mean, just like getting tattoos, like, I've gotten like $30 tattoos that I needed to cover up with $1,000 one, because like I fucked up. It happens. Don't beat yourself up if you've ever invested in any one of these like programs. Like, you did learn something, like,
mhm.
it either solidified something in you. And now like you do have that motivation, and now you do have a little bit better discernment. So I just wanted to like throw that out there too, because this is not me and Melinda's first conversation. And, we both seen a lot of the same patterns, and we want to see people not fall into the same, hamster wheel and cycle. And just, it doesn't have to be that much of a struggle. And you definitely don't have to beat yourself up either. Like, if you haven't got the dominoes falling to your business yet, like, it's okay.
Right. we've been there. And I think that's important too, finding a coach that has been there, that has made all the mistakes and suffered from them, right? And then learned how to not make those mistakes again. And on top of that, learned how to, create a strategy that gets appointment books filled in 30 to or 14 to 45 days, 30 days on average, with perfect fit clients that are paying a premium price, and seeing the results that you want to achieve for yourself, right? um, you talked about finding a coach, knowing how to find a coach that's right for you. I take that and I kind of flip that on its end too. I flip everything on its end. I always joke that I'm the inside out, upside down, backwards coach, because I take a very, very different approach to business than most others do. I'm looking at things from a very, very different lens, because I'm always looking at what is the intent, and is this strategy going to produce what our intent is, right? So I'm always looking at it that way. So I I want people to look at me and say, is Melinda right for me? But I'm also looking at therapists and saying, is this therapist right for this program? There are a lot of therapists that have asked to, come into the program, that I've said, after a conversation, I say, the Business Masters course really isn't the best thing for you. Let me recommend something different, right? Because I'm not here just to fill up my bank account, right? I want to see big changes in the financial landscape of the massage industry. We've been way underpaid for far too long, and far undervalued by other professionals in our communities, and we need to change that. And so I want people coming into my world that are serious about leveling up, growing their business, and I want to make sure that not only am I a good fit for you, but you're a good fit for me too. um, I think that's really, really important. And keeping the number of therapists that I work with small. I max out at 15 therapists for each course, because I want to give as much one-on-one time with every therapist as I possibly can, because that's what you're paying for. That's what you need, right? You don't need just the cookie cutter, here's the ABC, go do it, right? You need that bespoke approach in order to get the maximum results.
Yep, and to implement it, because it's like with me, it's like I know a lot of, like, where things come from, a lot of stuff, but at the end of the day, I still have to go out and do the fucking work, I still have to, like, I know that I'm a hot, anxious mess, and I need to regulate my nervous system. I know all this, I know where all the trauma comes from, and it's like, I know what I need to do, and then I have to just choose to do it,
Yeah.
regularly, consistently, not just one time, because
Right.
regulating myself for 5 minutes is different than being able to sustain myself for weeks at a time, and that's kinda like where we're getting at, but it takes one step at a time, so, you know
And that's the approach with the Business Masters course, because with DIY courses, most people do the whole course, and then they start implementing things at the end, right? In the Business Masters course, we're implementing steps from class number one. We're implementing every single week. You don't have to wait until the course is done to implement. You don't have to wait until the course is done to start making more money, right? You're making more money from week one. That's my goal for you.
and
Most,
there's
sorry, go ahead.
accountability, because you have classmates that are doing it with you, and it's so much easier with other people.
Yes,
They tell me it is. I work better like in a community environment team and stuff, and that, I'm sure that is seeing other people's wins, you
yeah,
know.
yeah. But just going back to the, I personally don't have 3 years to build a practice, right? You don't have, if you're struggling, you don't have 10 weeks to wait to start making money. You need to start making money week one, right? So that's really important to me, to give you those wins every single week by giving you things to implement every single week. Yeah.
It's so awesome. It sounds like it's going to be really awesome for so many therapists who are just they're like, "You know what? I'm ready just to like get the shit going. Let's do it. Let's do it. I'm ready to quit the franchise or my day job and like do this thing. I'm ready to stop providing table time and start providing experiences." That's me. Gonna be great. I'm really excited to see what everyone's results are gonna be after they finish up with 10 weeks. It's like such a great way to kick off the new year too, you
It
know?
is. It is. We're going to be usually I launch the course in October. It's November this time because of, my
Like,
travel stuff. But we're going to be implementing new premium prices in advance of holiday gift certificate sales, in advance of the everyone is raising their rates January 1st, right? We're heading those things off, and that's making it more powerful for your business. So yeah, I'm super excited about it because the transformations really are amazing. Amazing. So yeah.
may I ask, since it's in November and your course starts on the 15th, are you approaching Black Friday? Like,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah, we talk about Black Friday. Um, but remember, I don't encourage discounts.
I know that's why I had to ask. I'm like,
Yes. So actually, all of the BMC students will get my gift certificate sales system course that teaches not to discount. They get that inside the course. There's, oh my gosh, they get so much. But yes, we definitely talk about the whole Black Friday thing and going into Christmas sales and how to navigate all of that without having it pinch your bank account, right? Um, the point is to grow your bank account and grow your impact in your community, right?
yeah, that's whenever you mentioned, make it easy for people to find you, I remember the first week that I turned on gift cards on my online software system, like a shit ton of people bought gift cards, and I'm like, damn, I should have did this like 6 months ago, but it was around the holidays. But I made it easy. People were calling me, and I'm like, I don't know if I do gift cards. I'm like, I'll give them a go. I'll try it, and it actually turned out really good. Now I don't do gift cards, but it's like I opened up that avenue. It wasn't there before, and
Yeah.
people were asking. So the demand is there. I just had to supply it. And sometimes like you have to keep your ears peaked for what clients are interested in as well too, because that's like a telltale sign, of course, depending on where you're at. I'm in Austin, so everything's fucking weird around here. It's great. I have so much room to play around, Melinda. I can literally do anything wacky. But I am a little wacky, but
The whole keep Austin weird thing, right?
yeah, I have a method to my healing madness, for sure. But I'm so excited to see how everyone's going to turn out from the program. And I love the bonus. Like, what a great bonus, the gift certificate mastery. Like, that's such a hot topic in the massage industry. Is gift cards or not gift cards? I don't know.
Oh my gosh, I can't even tell you all the bonuses. You really have to
Yes. No, do tell me. I
click
want
on the link
to.
to read about it because right now there are $3,300 in bonuses in the course, and I'm super excited about the content creation workshop. Everybody who signs up for this round of the Business Masters course gets a spot in that workshop. It's a half-day workshop where we actually sit and I teach my 5-day framework and we write content together. So you leave the workshop with content written, and not just for Facebook or basic Instagram posts, but I'm teaching you how to leverage that into emails and stories and reels and carousels and all of the things, so that you can have this suite of content ready to go so that you can start making money from it right away. I'm super, super excited about that bonus because that's a new bonus that I've added for this round. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of bonuses, $3,300 worth.
And we'll definitely put the link in the description so that way you can check it out and decide if you want to hop on and like do this thing before the new year. Like
Right?
get her done and go make some fucking waves in the industry so we can all keep thriving, please.
Yes,
Even if we get turned
yes,
upside down sometimes. The roller
yes.
coaster will be inevitable still. So, there's that, but this is truly, I think, the most incredible industry that we could be in. And aren't you so glad that we're not going to be replaced by AI? Like human touch can't be replaced by AI. Massage therapists aren't going away. So let's start, showing people how important providing healing and touch is for people, please.
Yes, thank you. Yes. We
First,
need to take that stand in our communities and say we need to be loud and proud, right, of what it is that we offer, and how that impacts our clients and our communities, right? Because we can impact one person, but that one person impacts their family and impacts their workplace and impacts their community, right? It's this beautiful ripple effect, but you have to start with that first client, right?
oh yeah. And sometimes all you need is that one person to really like get it going. That's happened to me time and time again whenever I just felt like nothing was like could possibly turn out in my favor, but I did something. I would go to that networking meeting I didn't want to go to. I would, see that client even though I was on my cycle and so tired. And, they ended up buying packages and referring tons of people or hiring me for corporate gigs. It's awesome. We have to make the decisions for the type of person that we want to be, the type of business owner we want to be, and not like from this place of scarcity. And I know that's so difficult to do whenever you're, in survival mode, but people can't come out of it. So
Absolutely, 100%. If I can go from $10 an hour to what I charge now, everybody can do it. You just have to have the right strategy behind you. Yeah.
I'm still so baffled at that. And that's actually like, I mean, it's amazing because it shows how much you've grown over the years. And
I mean, it definitely shows how ridiculous I was as an early business owner. And the whole scarcity mindset and yeah, and how that played out in my business. Ridiculous.
people tipped, right?
What are you talking about? I hardly had any people because who wants a $10 massage, right? No.
Right, fair, fair. Oh man. Okay, folks, don't charge $10 an hour. Melinda will teach you how to charge
Don't,
appropriately.
don't.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being on the show today. And we're gonna put all the links down in the show notes. But if there's anything you'd like to leave the listeners with, like a book you're reading right now, or a favorite quote or little negative information, like I'd love to.
I'm reading Palace Papers right now. That's my non-professional book. Sometimes we need those downtimes, right?
Is that
So,
like Bridgerton?
that's what I'm reading now.
Is that like Bridgerton or one of those?
No, no, it's like an inside trashy look at the British monarchy.
That sounds like something I would totally be into. So thank you so much for that recommendation. but definitely gonna check that out. Thank you so much, Melinda. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your evening, and I'm excited to
Yeah, me
see
too.
how this new crop of massage therapists and badasses start to bud. Thank you.
Don't forget to tell your people, Rebecca, what they can get if they use your link.
Oh yes, we'll be posting that link. I'm having a brain fart, Melinda. I'm not gonna lie. So,
Okay, so
God.
if you join the Business Masters course and you use code BABS, you will get a bio slash intro post. You'll get the whole template to write a really powerful intro post and use it for your bio if you want. But then also you get a bespoke rewrite from me. So you use the template, all the explanations, everything that I give you, and then you write yours. You submit it to me, and I do a whole little magical rewrite for you. And we can go back and forth if we need to, but I'll power that all up for you. So you get that, and then you're going to get my nine social media tips, or 9 social media posts. That's what it is, with a layout of all the different things that you need to be focusing on, the reasonings behind each one, the how to for each one, the objective for each of those posts. And then I'm also going to include my bonus post performance tracker so that you can track the performance of all of those posts. So you get a whole bunch when you use Rebecca's code.
Incredible. That's why I had a brain fart, Melinda, because I know you and I had talked about the bio, like rewriting mine, because I'm like, mine's boring, yours is amazing. Can we do something about it? But I had no idea you were including that in with it. So that's really incredible. I really
But it's
appreciate
not just the template, it's the whole rewrite too that I personally do for you.
it.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what mine is, because mine is just the info's there. It's just kind of bland and boring, and that's not me. I'm not bland and boring, and neither.
No, your
So,
bio that you sent me does not match who you are. It
oh
does
God,
not.
I'll totally out myself and like post the before and after. I'll
Okay.
take one for the team. Thank you so much, Melinda. Thank you everyone for tuning in and hanging with us. I know we had like a lot of info packed in this one, so let us know what you got out of it and feel free to message either one of us. And you can find all of our socials down in the show notes too.
All right. Thank you much.
Bye.
Bye bye.